Archaeologists may not consider the discovery of a coffin particularly significant. However, when this coffin is related to an event that could rewrite history, it then becomes much more significant. The recent discovery of a coffin in Spain is being held as a once-in-a-lifetime find for Europeans because it could change European history. So let's find out about this discovery of archaeologists unearthing a coffin in Spain that'll change everything about European history. The Visigoths were a so-called barbaric tribe that defeated the Romans and brought the Roman Empire to its knees. They were responsible for the fall of the Roman Empire. The Visigoths were an ancient Germanic people who made their initial contact with the Roman Empire between the 3rd and 4th centuries. In the year 410 AD, Emperor Theodosius I was attempting to keep the peace with his neighbors when the Visigoths, led by Alaric, sacked Rome. They had been nomads in the past, but they settled down and formed permanent communities in southern Gaul, now part of France, and then eventually in Hispania, which is the Iberian Peninsula. They established the Visigoth kingdom in Spain and Portugal, which flourished from the 5th to the 8th centuries before succumbing to the onslaught of Arab forces. During that time, the Visigoths ruled over Spain and Portugal. The Visigoths, along with other Gothic tribes, were adherents of Germanic paganism. However, despite the fact that they eventually converted to Christianity, many aspects of their pagan traditions, art, and culture persisted for many years into the Christian era. And now, a Visigoth sarcophagus with human remains that is over 1,500 years old has been discovered among the ruins of a Roman villa in southern Spain. This sarcophagus was found among the ruins of the Roman villa. Theodorus' son Eric declared Visigoth independence from Rome in 475 AD. The Visigoths formalized their legal system and expanded their control over Gallic lands under his leadership. The expanding Frankish kingdom pressured the Visigoths. In the year 507, Oric's successor Alaric II was killed by Clovis at Poitiers. The Visigoths lost all their Gallic lands except for Septimania in the south. Toulouse was the capital of their remaining Spanish kingdom. Given the Iberian Peninsula's cultural and linguistic diversity, its ability to remain united under a single governing body is remarkable. In the 6th century, royal family members and influential bishops converted to Catholicism. There were rebel forces, including one in Byzantium, Spain, but they were defeated. There is evidence that the Roman villa of Los Villaricos in Mula was occupied for several hundred years, making it a large-scale agricultural villa built during the Roman era and located on the banks of the river Mula. It is a large site, and still, parts of it have not been excavated. The olive oil that was previously produced at the location was stored in the Villa Los Villaricos, which featured both an olive press and a storage area for the oil. The Ocus, also known as the triclinium, which served as a reception room in Roman villas, was converted into a place of worship for Christians at Los Villaricos. Necropolis at Saza is the name given to the burial ground that is located immediately to the right of this room. Raw materials that could be sold for a profit came from the region of Almeria. The hills of the Sierra Morena held minerals that could be smelted to make silver coinage. The hillsides of the north yielded esparto grass that was used for cordage and household items. Large plains provided wheat to feed the troops that continued to occupy further areas of Spain. Other valuable products included olive oil, marble, sandstone, and a coastline that offered opportunities for the production of fish sauces. The hills of the Sierra Morena held minerals that could be sold. In addition, the Los Villaricos villa was constructed at a strategic location along the primary trade route that connected Carthage with Complutum. This settlement is located north of where Madrid is located today. Complutum was part of the Roman province of Hispania. The Romans were an ever-expanding territorial force, so it made sense for them to take control of the region of Murcia. This was a pragmatic decision on their part. The Carthaginians were ultimately victorious over them during the Second Punic War. As a result of their conquests in the region from the years 218 to 202 BC, the Roman farming villa at Mula was deserted around the beginning of the 6th century after Christ, which coincided with the fall of the Roman Empire. The owner of the villa gave up all of his manufacturing endeavors. Instead, a small Roman population continued to live in the area even after the empire's fall. A separate religious structure in the shape of a semicircle was constructed during this period. Around this structure, an improvised cemetery or necropolis was established, with the dead buried close to its walls. The necropolis is home to a number of straightforward burial sites. Sandstone is used for the top, which is comprised of large slabs, and smaller stones are used for support along the sides. One of the graves contained decorations made up of shards of ceramic and tiles dating back from the 5th to the 7th century and featuring design motifs typical of Christian iconography. These decorations date back to the time this is the location where the Spanish research team found the sarcophagus that belonged to the visit. Due to the unexpected nature of this find, the municipal department, independent researchers, and students have come together to investigate this remarkable find even further. Researchers who excavating Roman ruins at Los Visgoths in southern Spain came across the well-preserved coffin. The coffin measures 2 meters long, or about 6.5 feet, and is decorated with stylized ivy leaves and incised concentric swirls on a roof with a peak. A simplified sayao is carved into a circle at the end of the coffin, which is the side where the head would have been placed. Rather than being incorporated into the axe of the kai, the downstroke of the row has a crossbar. The sarcophagus's decorations are in keeping with a date in the 6th century. In the southeast of Spain, it is the only instance of its kind that's ever been found. Ivy leaves that interlocked and geometric patterns were used to decorate the coffin. The sarcophagus most likely dates to the 6th century CE, when the Visigoths and other Germanic tribes invaded regions that had previously been ruled by the now-defunct Roman Empire. According to an article published by a local news source called Murcia Today, archaeologists from the University of Murcia discovered a coffin measuring roughly 2 meters, or 6.5 feet, in length during a summer dig at Los Visgoths, a sizable agricultural settlement built by the Romans around the 1st century CE. The sarcophagus was buried in a Roman villa that the Visigoths used for a different purpose after the villa was abandoned around the 5th century CE. According to Heritage Daily, after seizing control of the building, the Germanic invaders turned its central patio area into a cemetery. This year's campaign was focused on finishing the excavation of the last 3 burials in the necropolis and continuing with the excavation work of the complex located north of the town, says lead archaeologist Rafael González Fernández. A statement claims that initially the researchers thought they had discovered a pill or rectangular column. González says, "We weren't expecting this spectacular discovery," in an interview with Charlie Diru of the London Times. According to Philip Clough for Alicia, the monogram, also known as a Christogram, it represents Jesus, or more specifically, the resurrection of Jesus. Legend has it that after a vision while in prayer, Roman Emperor Constantine adopted the Chi-Rho symbol as a military standard. It eventually turned into a part of an official imperial emblem. The monogram is another common element in early Christian art. The Times reports that Ceuta, a village northeast of Madrid, and Carthage were connected by a trade route where Los Visgoths was founded. When the ancient town was at its most prosperous, agriculture was its primary source of income. It produced and stored a variety of goods including olive oil. This villa in Los Visgoths, among other Roman structures, was repurposed by the Visigoths after the Romans left, according to Murcia Today. According to National Geographic, the Visigoths converted the villa's large as where the owner once graciously received their distinguished guests into a Christian basilica between the 5th and 7th centuries CE. They also created a necropolis at SOS, or Holy Necropolis, in the adjacent patio area. The statement claims that archaeologists conducted the excavation in 3 phases. The initial incident took place close to the village's water source. The second was focused on the so-called pool area, where ancient people produced and stored an unidentified product. At the same time, the third was concentrated on the town's tombs. According to the University of Murcia, this sarcophagus demonstrates Los Visgoths' power as an archaeological site and demonstrates our dedication to the university. The object will unquestionably have a special place in the Mula City Museum. The goal of the excavation campaign this year was to finish the last 3 burials in the necropolis and to conduct a preliminary investigation of the area just north of the necropolis, where some pools were discovered and are thought to have been used to store an as yet unidentified product produced in the villa. The object of the campaign for this year is to finish excavating the last 3 graves in the necropolis. By the end of the week, the team was exploring the necropolis when they came across the sarcophagus, which completely caught them off guard. The scientists removed the lid and found that it contained human remains and other unknown components. For research needs, the contents have been removed. The sarcophagus will also be examined and preserved for potential use in the future. It will also be shown at some point in the future. That's all for today. We will be back with more fascinating and mysterious videos soon. Let us know your thoughts on this one in the comments below. Be sure to like it and hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.